Hail the Alliance and the Horde. I'm Joe, and rather than a lore video for today, I decided I'd try my luck at Blizzard commentary and the news tubing side of Warcraft for once. Here we are. Blizzard is open to more Warcraft movies, but doesn't want to be a filmmaker. Not a good idea. The reason I'm going to say that is because I have to criticize everything Blizzard does as a Warcraft tuber. I'm joking, actually. No, it's not the best idea because, honestly, I didn't think their Warcraft 1 movie was so bad. They might as well lean into a Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness movie themselves. And if they're going to license it off, I hope they do it intelligently and are careful with who they select. But Blizzard being Blizzard, they're going to muck it up. Because it's kind of their thing these days. Warcraft franchise director John Haidt says he loves the 2016 film Warcraft. It'd be silly of him to tell me he doesn't, given his job. But in a world where it seems like every major gaming IP is going ham on multimedia, Haidt differs notably from his fellows in one major way. He doesn't want to be a filmmaker. Speaking to IGN at the Game Developers Conference in March, we asked Haidt about the potential for future Warcraft movies. Though he admitted the idea would certainly be interesting, he added that he didn't think Blizzard should explicitly get into the filmmaking business. We make games, and I think that games will always be our core. So Warcraft will be centered around that, he said. And more than just Blizzard, Haidt himself doesn't want to get caught up in thinking he needs to jump into a different industry. I don't want to fall into the trap of, I will be a filmmaker now. I think leave that to folks that really know what they're doing. That, on the other hand, is smart. You're a game developer. You're not a filmmaker. These are two different mediums. And arguably, video games are a much more complex storytelling medium. And could tell just as good, sometimes even better stories than what movies could. Arguably. Games such as Valkyrie Profile NF, FF10, FF6 have told great stories that are a little more complex than some films, especially in recent years. Now, I'm not saying one medium is better than the other. They're born differently, in a way. We love them both. It's just books are better than all of them. I'm joking. If we can find talent in other areas doing media that have that shared love and passion for Warcraft, absolutely. But I think I've seen it, unfortunately, some of my colleagues get enamored with the idea of becoming filmmakers and leveraging the opportunity that they have in owning the IP or controlling the IP to be an entry into filmmaking. But there are so many professionals who have been doing this for so many years, and there could be dozens, if not hundreds, 100 films that can execute so much better. I wouldn't have somebody that only made films come in and try and build a game like Warcraft, right? So I think finding those partnerships is the right approach. He's learning from Titan Comics / Heroic Signatures. Smart. So like I said, I'm supposed to disapprove, but on the other hand, I get where Haidt's coming from. Haidt feels the same way about other video games. I mentioned companies like Riot who have licensed out the League of Legends IP to multiple other indie studios to make more games out of it. Though it's a practice the publisher has notably wound down amid budget woes. Would Blizzard ever do the same? Again, Haidt is interested, but understandably picky. Certainly open to people who really get it and have a cool idea about how to express Warcraft, and if we feel like excuse me, aesthetically they're going to be able to hit the bar, he said, I think if we found the right partner, found the right situation, I think especially blah, 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 yeah, basically we're not going to do it because we like to license it out. The Warcraft within. Seriously. Who put this subtitle there? That's stupid. So while you might think Height, as a franchise director, would be overly concerned about with expanding Warcraft to as many corners of media as possible, he instead has his sights set closer at home. He's clearly proud of the recent mobile release, Warcraft Rumble, which alongside Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, is helping spread the property beyond just the MMO. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, so I wonder how much of a success it's been. But his bread and butter is World of Warcraft, which is currently winding down its popular Dragonflight expansion ahead of its next big story swing, the World Soul Saga, which will probably suck. Oh, spoilers. Normally, the content lull between major expansions results in a dip in players, but Dragonflight isn't seeing that valley. Height discussed a number of reasons why in his GDC talk, but one key element is a more consistent cadence of new things to do between story beats. For instance, World of Warcraft recently introduced a goofy pirate-themed battle royale mode called Plunderstorm. Originally conceived as an internal PvP experiment, playtests have been generally pretty good. Yeah, okay. I'm going to skip ahead a little. Things that will repeat, and then there's things that will evolve. I can't tell you that turned out because we're still seeing how players are responding to it. What they're saying, what they're telling us like that. Okay. In every interview I do with World of Warcraft executives, I ask them if the 20-year-old MMO can still serve as the beating heart of the franchise for the long term. Height, like all the other executives I've spoken to before him, says yes. He hopes World of Warcraft will evolve for another 20 years, but to do so, he adds, it needs to adapt. Yes. And I wish it could adapt a plot. Oh, sorry. Okay, I should say a good plot. Because since Wrath of the Lich-King, it's been like that for the story. Because who really cares? They concluded Arthas' story. And honestly, if they're going to continue the story after that, they need to handle it with care. And they haven't. Ideas as stupid as Cataclysm and whatnot have gotten the green light, while doubtlessly good ideas have probably gotten the red light. So, yeah. Who am I kidding? They've basically been greenlighting everything. And the problem is there's a lot of trash rather than, I guess, diamonds in the rough to be found. So, World of Warcraft has been, for anyone who loved the story of Warcraft 3, been more a bane than a blessing, I think, after Wrath of the Lich-King. At least that's my opinion. Which brings Height back once again to the point he's hammered home throughout both our interview and his GDC talk. It all comes down to responding to the game's community again and again. Sure, it's nice to bring in new players, and he hopes to do so, but for Height, everything comes back to sustaining the existing community and convincing lapsed players that there's something interesting to return to. Yeah, except there isn't. Returning players is one of our biggest segments. They may sit out an entire expansion, they might have been gone for 5 years, but they like to come back in and check it out. Yeah, but it's not been a great success. Now, I'm just going to check some of the comment section. I always thought they should commit to making a movie that's made using the same techniques they use to make their high-quality cinematics. Well, there's an idea. Either way, I'm up for more movies. Sorry, I want to be able to actually highlight these. Hopefully they can stick with a less convoluted and better-known story this time around. Now, I liked the first movie, and I kind of liked the plot to it. Okay, convoluted is kind of the thing about Warcraft. It's always been kind of convoluted, so what do you want? Because the story of Warcraft 2 with the conflict of Doomhammer versus the Alliance and Gul'dan is pretty convoluted. Then you get Arthas, which is the very definition, but it's awesome. So, too bad they didn't have the same attitude, leniency with Duncan Jones on the first Warcraft movie. He could easily have delivered a great film had he gotten this type of control. Yeah, fair. The last one made 439 million, thanks to China. Not sure what Universal expected, really, in terms of box office numbers. I don't know. They don't seem to want to be a game developer either. Seriously, how can Warcraft 4 not exist 22 effing years after Warcraft 3? Good point. I always would have... Honestly, if they were to just continue from Warcraft 3 and try another shot at the Lich-king story, except with a Warcraft 4, I think they could probably do better, but the problem is current staff wouldn't be able to. But, like, the staff of back then probably could have. But the current staff, no. So, because they're determined to suck. No one can write so badly unless they're doing it on purpose. Someone tell this to Neil Druckmann and David Cage. Both try so hard to be filmmakers, but clearly lack the talent to do so. Yeah. The Warcraft film wasn't bad, but it was too busy trying to set up a sequel. Yeah. We need WoW on console. Well, there's an idea. Why don't you guys figure out how to be game developers again first? Well put. Well put. So this has been a fun article from IGN by Rebecca Valentine. And I say it's fun because you can poke fun at it. Yeah. Warcraft 4 we should have gotten. And I wish they knew how to be game developers, because I could do a better job than these schmucks. And if you take offense at this, I have no idea why you would, because these guys suck. And if you really didn't like this video, do remember to buy my book, because Crown of Blood is out. And, you know, you could also like, share, subscribe here and over on Substack, where I do a lot of different fantasy novels. All of them way better than current day Warcraft. I'll just be honest.